All right, so the B&B will have a rack of single-gear bikes for every guest. And yes, next to that, of course, is going to be the big giant rabbit hutch. Bye-bye, Lenny.
We're starting off this week by looking back to Friday night in Denton, Texas in the legendary Datku Stadium, where great athletes Abner Hayes, Steve Ramsey, Mean Joe Green, and Stone Cold Steve Austin poured out their blood, sweat, and tears for North Texas. Oh, wait a minute, that was Fouts Field? Oh, okay. What legendary names and moments have graced the field of Datku? Yeah, that makes sense. North Texas isn't a school that's known as a college football powerhouse. In fact, they've always been a doormat. The same could be said for South Florida. Unlike the Mean Green, who are usually stomped out like cigarette butts, the Bulls have had their fair share of highlights, especially in 2007, when they were ranked at number 2 in the nation at one point. When this game began in a sold-out Datku, the first sellout in stadium history, by the way, true freshman quarterback Drew Mestemaker came to fucking ball from the Mean Green. 2 touchdowns from him to begin the game both on the ground and in the air. However, South Florida's quarterback Byron Brown is pretty damn good himself, as he matches Mestemaker with a touchdown on the ground and another through the air. What I haven't mentioned so far is the 8 fucking turnovers both of these fucking teams committed in this game. Yes, 8. 6 in the first half alone. Sadly for North Texas, despite having their fan base finally show up for one of their biggest games the school has seen in years, Drew Mestemaker didn't look like Mean Green, he was just green. 3 interceptions would not save them from the high-scoring Bulls, who put up 63 points before it was all said and done. I'll give the Mean Green props here. If you take away Mestemaker's interceptions, they might have been able to keep up with USF, but the mistakes were just too much to overcome. In a battle that looked more like the Big 12 than a Group of 5 Friday night matchup, South Florida's playoff dreams remain alive. Seriously though, Byron Brown is a freaking hoss. Jesus Christ. Guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but I have something to tell you. Alabama is back. They marched into Columbia against a damn good Mizzou team led by Bo Pribula, who has been a Heisman hopeful to this point in the season, and shut them down. Bo gave Alabama his best shot with 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions for 167 passing yards will not beat Alabama. Ty Simpson, on the other hand, once again played a beautiful game, scoring 3 touchdowns himself, while the Alabama defense was, once again, the Alabama defense we're all used to seeing. It wasn't a blowout or anything. Mizzou kept it close and had a chance to drive down the field late to tie or win the game, but Alabama snuffed that out pretty quick to win the game. We all hoped beyond hope that Mizzou would find a way to beat Bama and take them out of the playoff race. But once again, Bama wins lol. I'm not mad. I'm not shocked. I'm just depressed. How in the fuck did they lose to Florida State, yet have been the destroyer of worlds ever since then? It's like the ending of Avengers Infinity War, when Thanos is victorious and it cuts to black. Nobody asked for this result, and now at least a dozen people are crying in the audience.
God f***ing damn it!
And now, for the next few minutes, as the old narrator has been reassigned, so you still have to deal with me. Florida State has lost another fucking game, and the narrative has changed from we're back to we never changed. Pitt fans, bow before your new leader in God, Mason fucking Heinschel. Who in the hell needs an Alabama transfer quarterback when you have all the talent in the world sitting on the fucking bench? Pat Narduzzi sure knows how to identify who the best players on his team actually are. Fucking suck for a few weeks, then shuffle the players around like it's 3-card Monty until you finally win a few games. Just ignore the back-to-back interceptions thrown by Heinschel in the second quarter, and you can call Narduzzi the best head coach in Pittsburgh right now. It also helps when Desmond Reed is burning Seminole defenders and scoring 2 touchdowns. As for the Seminoles, they haven't won an ACC conference game in a calendar year now. I genuinely do not understand how this fucking team beat Alabama back in week 1. Thomas Castellanos isn't even the problem at this point, it's the goddamn defense. That brick wall the Seminoles had in week 1 under defensive coordinator Tony White has been reduced to rubble. I'm starting to believe week 1 didn't actually happen, and it was all just a simulation at this point, because how does this sad sack of shit beat Alabama? God damn it, guys, you're killing me. Wazzu playing their first SEC opponent in 10 years thanks to the bullshit of realignment? Well, this is a nothing game. I think Ole Miss just scheduled them out of pity and wanted the free win instead of it being actually competitive. Just take the ass whipping and go home, okay, Cougs?
Shameless stands there, throws, incomplete. Turnover on downs. And Carnero, no good.
Important opportunity.
Julian Duggar is in the backfield with Eckhouse. Eckhouse turns, throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Landon Wright uncovered. 2nd and 10. Shameless throws downfield again into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Tucker Large who picked it off.
Oh, Jesus, you cannot be serious. It's Washington fucking State. They play in a 2-team conference and have to play 0-7 Oregon State twice this season. North Texas even took their asses to the goddamn woodshed, for fuck's sake. Why are you suddenly struggling? I know I called you fuckers fraudulent, and I'm still waiting for the inevitable embarrassing loss at some point, but this wasn't in the fucking script. Can we reset the damn timeline, please?
Pressure from Washington State. Shameless gets out of there. Trinidad, touchdown! Shameless stands in there. First down ball. It's a touchdown ball. Caden Lee.
Finally, balance has been restored, and Ole Miss fans can change their suddenly brown pants. Guess what, though? No rest for you. There is a pack of Bulldogs and a Sooner schooner ready to run your ass over in the next 2 weeks. If you survive this, I will stop calling you frauds. Welcome to this season's first official Sickos Bowl, pitting the movable object and the resistible force. In the red corner, UMass, one of the absolute worst programs in all of FBS. I know I've given Akron shit on this channel before, but dear fucking Lord, since joining from FCS in 2012, their best season has been 4-8 in 2018. Since 2021, the record of UMass is 7-41. Of those 7 wins, only 3 were against another FBS opponent, the last one being against Army in 2023. Since then, they are 0-16 against all FBS opponents. And over in the blue corner, the Kent State Golden Flashes. The Flashes had a rare moment of success back in 2021, winning the MAC South Division and making the Potato Bowl. They lost both the MAC Championship and the bowl game, but the future looked extremely bright for them. Then, their head coach Sean Lewis fucked off, and new head coach Kenny Burns was, shall we say, not helpful. After he was fired in April for taking out an illegal $100,000 loan from a Kent State booster, the outlook for the Bolts in Dick Stadium has not been much better. Granted, Kent State did win a game over FCS school Merrimack in week 1. The problem is they have not won a game against an FBS opponent since November of 2022. This is the game that the NCAA should bring back ties for. 2 teams vying it out to not be the worst. Let the worst goddamn fight of all time begin.
Retrieved. Here come the Golden Flashes and a nice... This is going to be how you want to start a football game. Unbelievable return. It's a touchdown for the Golden Flashes right out of the chute. Great first down run. And now DeShields rolling to the right, letting things develop into the end zone. A diving grab. Touchdown. Golden Flashes to Sean Martin. Garcia in at running back. DeShields, right side. The battle for the ball
Well, it's official. UMass is going 0-12. Seriously, why are you here? Why the fuck are you in the FBS? You were independent for nearly a decade, not by choice, but by stupidity. You left the MAC in 2016 because you refused to bring all of your sports into the conference. Only now to come back this season with your tail between your legs because NIL and transfer portal needs demanded it to survive. Let's not forget that you fuckers have been burning money this whole time, that you tried to cancel senior night once because you thought you had too many seniors to honor, and that you are 7-5 against FCS opponents since joining. You are without a doubt the worst goddamn team in the country, despite the fact that your football program gets priority over all other sports in terms of money and attention. You are fucking terrible. You are a joke of a program with no home field advantage because you couldn't even decide where to play home games for half a decade. If these Minutemen served in the Revolution, this country would be singing God Save the Damn King. I would roast you over an open flame, but that would be giving you more publicity than you have gotten in the last decade. And you don't deserve a damn bit of it. Delete your piece of shit program. Oklahoma showed more fight in the damn tunnel than they did in this game. Yeah, I don't think bringing back Mateer so soon after surgery was the right move here. He was absolutely terrible in this game. It would have been worse if Arch had been able to do more in the first half. Texas's defense made its long-awaited return at the best possible moment, but let's be clear here, I still very much do not believe in them, considering all they had to do was stop a quarterback with a damaged throwing hand. I'm more concerned about why the offense still can't get into full fucking gear. Yeah, Arch had a better game than Mateer because he threw no picks, but Mateer had more passing yards than him. He barely made an impact with only one touchdown on the offense. The only other touchdown was scored by the Longhorns on a punt return. Against a team with a healthy quarterback, Texas gets beat here, bar fucking none. Oklahoma is injured and had finally caught up with them. I can totally see both teams sliding the rest of the way as we get into the second half of the season here. You both suck. I have nothing good to say for either of you. Get your shit together before a good team knocks your blocks off. Indiana brought big boy Big Ten football to the West Coast and beat the Ducks with a fucking crowbar. Not with the score, but with physicality. Autzen Stadium is a tough-ass place to play. But one look at Curt Cignetti on the sidelines told you how unfazed the Hoosiers were. The godfather of Indiana football didn't blink as Oregon threw its best shots at the Hoosiers. Oregon scores a touchdown, Hoosiers respond. Kicked a field goal, how about another touchdown by Indiana? The referee misses an obvious pass interference on Oregon. Curt loses his shit and tells the referee who's boss. Indiana throws a rare interception. No matter, they score a touchdown in the next possession. Oregon gets 200 yards of offense in the first half. How about 60 yards in the second half? Fernando Mendoza continues to build his case for the Heisman Trophy, while his counterpart on Oregon, Dante Moore, embraced the Oregon tradition of choking by throwing 2 interceptions in the process of losing this game. Coming into it, Indiana had never won a game against a top 5 ranked team on the road in the entire history of the program. So far this season, they have beaten both the 3rd ranked and the 9th ranked teams in the country. Curt Cignetti has come in and not only turned Indiana into a respectable football school, they are now suddenly national title contenders. This is not me being a fucking hype man either. Indiana genuinely looks like they are one of the best teams in the nation right now. There are some who will try to deflect and say, oh, Oregon isn't that good because they struggled against Penn State. Yeah, nah. This is the same Indiana team that put up 63 points on Illinois. You want to know how many points Ohio State was able to put up on Illinois on Saturday? 34. You want to know who has more points right now on offense this season between Ohio State and Indiana? The Hoosiers. Now, it's tough to make direct comparisons between those two at this point, but it's the closest thing we have right now. They don't play each other this season, and now they're both tied at the top of the Big Ten Conference. However, if both Ohio State and Indiana win out, which, trust me, they are both very likely to do so with their remaining schedules. They will have a date set in Indianapolis, with the Hoosiers having virtually home field advantage against Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. I don't want to face Indiana right now or later. If you have the Hoosiers on your schedule, say your fucking prayers, because Hoosiers the Bison's boys love to kick ass and chew gum. And trust me, as we saw on Saturday, they're all out of fucking gum. Damn, Auburn. You're coming out and punching Georgia in the damn mouth, being already out to a 10-0 lead late in the first half? That, and you're also driving again and actually have a good chance of making this a 17-point deficit going into the half? Holy shit, War Damn Eagle.
And here we go.
Will it be Arnold again? Yes, it will. Following Alston. And they're going to mark him down. Crowd thinks he scored, but he bounced to the goal line. Hard to use this last time out.
It'll be second down.
They're 8 out of 10 on third down. Jackson Arnold. Crowd thinks he got in. The officials are trying to sort it out. Meanwhile, the ball is out. There's a Georgia player running in the opposite direction all the way down. That's Kyron Jones. Kirby saying, there's the ball. We have a touchdown. Meanwhile, Hugh Freeze thinks his team scored. And a couple of the offensive players on the field are signaling that. And the indication is it's a fumble and it's Georgia's ball.
He has it in his possession there, but at what point is he across the goal line? It's so close. Right there.
Well, he has both hands on the ball. He still has possession of the ball. He's across the line. Well, it's hard to head set off. Oh boy. I have no idea what they were looking at. Short set by Stockton. Good catch by Lawson Lucky. 7-yard gain for Mike Bobo's offense. He's had plenty of time to think about these play calls. More than 3-1 edge in time of possession for Auburn. Stockton flush, but their whistles first. Oh my goodness.
The running on the field is upheld. It's first down, Georgia, 33-yard line.
Here's an Auburn blitz. Stockton runs away from it, throws to the sideline, caught. Colby Young.
After review, number 4 in the defense hit a protected player above the shoulders, moving second. Therefore, targeting has been created as a foul.
Wow, how this has turned. They thought they had a 3-score lead. They lost the ball, and their first time they did not score all season in the red zone. And now Lee, with 1:03 to go, one of their best defensive players, a starting cornerback, is out. Georgia's going to line up to snap the ball. Meanwhile, the referee, Ken Williamson's having a conversation with the line judge over on the Georgia sideline.
Like down marker. They're bringing out a new down marker on the far side. I don't know if the battery died on the far side or something. Can't say I've seen that one before.
This season it's 48. 55 is indoors in Atlanta. And Stockton forced to throw it away. There's going to be a late hit. Now Morris Williams took Stockton to the ground after the throw. To a senior in high school. Blitz off the edge. They threw the ball out to that side of the field. Rayshawn Pleasant stopped it for a short gain for Branch. There's another flag down.
Hugh Freeze has to be thinking, what did I do to deserve this? This team was dominating the game.
Are the fucking refs being paid off by Kirby Smart or something? 30 yards of penalties given to Georgia by the refs and to an extent by Auburn as well bring the Bulldogs from the shadow of their own end zone to a stolen field goal. It took 37 fucking minutes to get from the 2-minute warning to fucking halftime. When you have me agreeing with Hugh Freeze about anything, you have royally fucked up this game, guys. After the bullshit from all that happening, it was basically ball game for Auburn. They just couldn't get back into this thing. Hugh Freeze showed as much in the halftime interview, bitching about the damn calls. The officials were living rent-free in their heads all season, and it really showed here. Georgia won a game that was marred with controversy, but also marred with Auburn being fucking inept. I get it. That was a bad string of calls by the refs. It happens in this game. But you need to move the fuck on and keep playing. It happened. It's over. Move the fuck on. That's why truly Auburn lost this game. BYU ran out to a 14 lead in their first game against a team that is actually good all season. BYU quarterback Brock Bachmeier has been more than solid this year considering the situation he was walking into during the offseason. And he has made a statement in the first quarter with a 75-yard touchdown pass. Then he vanished. And Noah Fafita of Arizona took center stage, leading the Wildcats to 17 points unanswered going into the half. Then he also fucked off. And he and Brockmire traded interceptions in the third quarter, only to pop up for a touchdown early in the fourth, seemingly putting this one away for the Wildcats and handing the Mormons their first loss of the season. Then, the gentlemen of Joseph Smith realized their undefeated record is on life support and got their shit together with a field goal and then an 11-play drive to score a touchdown in the dying seconds of the fourth to tie it up. Guess what, chucklefuckers? We're going to overtime. Both teams are stonewalled in the first overtime and held to field goals. But then in the second overtime, BYU was finally able to get into the end zone, yet they couldn't convert the two-pointer. Let's see what Arizona can do here.
Fafita steps up in the pocket, launches, and the game is over!
They just fucking die in the desert. Okay then. Joseph Smith rejoices once more as the Cougars are victorious in their first actual test of the season. At 6-0, they are now tied with Texas Tech at the top of the Big 12. Mormons versus Raiders. Imagine saying in the Big 12 championship, BYU would be playing Texas Tech 5 years ago. Yeah, I know, modern college football is completely fucked, isn't it? And now, it's time to once again cover all of the games that I didn't quite have time for thanks to all the fucking bullshit that happened this week. You know what time it is. It's rapid fire. Congrats on your first Conference USA win. You barely beat the blue dog shit known as Middle Tennessee in front of like 20 people, but think of the history made. Give me that fucking turtle. The beatings will continue until morale improves. How in the fuck did you give up 28 straight to Bowling Green? Are you allergic to cats or something? The United States Navy is getting defeated in Philadelphia by a bunch of redcoats. Who is leading this fucking attack, Benedict Arnold?
On board. Who else? Horvath with a crease. There he goes. Horvath keeps it rolling to his right, delivers, and it is caught. Alex Teska.
Never mind, it was apparently George Washington crossing the Delaware in the dead of night. Navy's playoff hopes live on. You are now making Colorado look like they got their shit together. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. You got trampled by the Thundering Herd, and people actually thought you were playoff material. Why the fuck would anybody ever believe in Old Dominion? You nearly choked on the bacon, but you managed to get the job done. No, I would not feel very good about this win right now. No, you didn't blow a close game, but it was still a close game against October, Maryland. This 5-1 record isn't exactly covering up the bullshit that I'm smelling here. Desert Rat Dan Mullen escapes the Air Force air raid and is 6-0. Enjoy it while you can, Rebs. He's fucking off after this season. Wait a goddamn minute. You beat TCU? Where the fuck was this a few weeks ago? Hey, look at that. Purdue actually might pull this off.
I like trains.
First down, it's intercepted. Corey Parrish. It's a homecoming.
Never mind. You did what your little brother didn't do. Maybe you won't fall for the battered Aggie syndrome again this year. Maybe. Ha! You lost to Lincoln Riley. Good news, you learned how to run the ball. Bad news, Nussmeier threw 2 interceptions. You're still on thin ice, Tigers. Jesus fucking Christ, Bobcats. 2 heartbreaking defeats in a row? What the fuck are you, Arkansas? You got shut out at home against Iowa, who can't fucking offense. Why does Luke Fickell still have a job? I guess Cam Scatterbo really was the only thing that made you bastards relevant. And now, a moment of silence for those who have lost their chance to bowl this December.
Bring out Jadane!
I don't think anybody is surprised about this one. It's been tough times in Beaverland over the last 2 years given the turmoil from the Pac-12 falling apart. While Big Brother Oregon gets millions and millions of dollars in the Big Ten, the Beavers got left holding the bag with fucking Wazzu. Of course, this chaos means that players are not going to want to come play at Oregon State, so a drop-off was foreseen, but 0-7? Yeah, no. That's more than just playing in a 2-team conference. That's 100% on the coach. The dude simply didn't win, regardless of situation, and that is just unacceptable at this level. Oh, wait a minute. I think I nearly forgot something.
Get the fuck out of here!
Bring out Jadane!
I can't think of a head coaching hire that has crashed any harder than Trent fucking Dilfer. UAB was actually on the rise after making multiple bowl games under Bill Clark, even winning a Conference USA title in 2018 and 2020. Frankly, if it wasn't for Bill Clark having to retire due to chronic back problems, they would have continued on that path. Instead, Trent Dilfer comes in and does more damage to the football program than the UAB Board of Directors when they tried to kill it in 2014. They have become irrelevant virtually overnight, and I hope to God Dilfer never coaches another team at this level again. Okay, I think we're done now. Thank you very much for watching this week, and I'm just kidding, you know what the fuck is next. Rock bottom. There is no other statement that I can make here. This is just pure fucking pain. Northwestern came into what used to be Happy Valley and destroyed whatever was left of Penn State's hopes and dreams. This was their first win in Beaver Stadium since 2014. Drew Allar was terrible again, but I don't think I'm going to stoop that low and mock him. Why?
Oh no, there's a man down.
Believe it or not, I actually have empathy for a man who worked his ass off to make a football team as good as they could be, only to have his last season smited like that. It's a goddamn shame, but it's the price of doing business in this sport as well. The downfall of Penn State needs to be analyzed at length, because how does a team with this much talent fall apart so quickly and suddenly? It really makes me question what the problems really are here. Is it the coaches, the mindset of the players, or is it a combination of things that we won't know until the offseason? Either way, this is not a skid you suffer with the expectations of Penn State without the axe falling on someone, and the school agreed.
Oh.
Bring out Jadane!
Fucking shit.
Bring
You know,
out Jadane!
I joked a lot about how Penn State should just get it over with and fire Franklin, but I didn't think they actually had the balls to do it. But then, after 3 straight losses, Adidas, who became the new gear sponsor for Penn State starting next year, began to bitch and moan. They also, allegedly, offered to help pay for the massive $49 million buyout on his contract. Not sure how much I buy this rumor, to be completely honest here. If it's true, that's a huge deal that a private business got his ass fired and not just Penn State directly. But either way, the athletic department has decided to cut the cord and Franklin has been fired. I'm going to be making a full story time on James Franklin in the near future, so I'm only going to say this for now. The fucker deserved it. When I said he was Penn State's John Cooper, I meant it. He won every single game except the ones that mattered. He helped bring Penn State back from the edge of the abyss after the Sandusky scandal and years of probation, but beyond that, not a damn thing. In 12 years, he became the third fastest coach to reach 100 wins in FBS, yet only won 4 games against top 10 teams and only 1 game against a top 5 team. His biggest season was in 2016 when he won the Big Ten title, but last year was the closest they ever came to winning the national championship under him. Sure, they got a Rose Bowl, a couple Fiestas, and a Cotton Bowl trophy, but behind the silver and gold of those awards, there was massive holes everywhere you looked. From bad coaching decisions to poor recruiting and a failure to develop the players on the roster. It was a fucking car wreck in slow motion. This fan base has suffered enough over the last 15 years, and I am happy that Penn State finally grew a set and did what ultimately was right. Coach Franklin has one final award, however, for all of his accomplishments, or lack thereof this year. He has won his 3rd consecutive Dumbass of the Week award. Not only did you lose to Northwestern after being favored by 20 points, but you completely killed a football season in 3 weeks. I don't think he's going to be too upset though. That $49 million buyout is the 2nd largest in college football history. Money talks and bullshit walks, but Texas A&M is still the biggest dumbass when it comes to spending money on their coaches.